What up, ladies and gents? It's Hardcore Gamer for Life, and you know what I do. So let's just sit back and I'll do some sniping on this round in the map we're going to call Zoo. I'm loving this new Escalation map pack, guys. It is pretty darn sweet. Zoo, I'd have to say, is probably the most chaotic map out of all these maps. It's probably going to take me the longest to learn every nook and cranny, but really they're all that way. Which would make it seem like a sniper's heaven, and it kind of is, but at the same time, that also makes it a run and gunner's paradise in a way as well. Lots of corners covered to duck behind and whatnot as well, so it's extremely well balanced between having the nice long sight lines, the camping spots, and everything else that the snipers want, and also providing plenty of cover and alternate routes through the level for the run and gunners. If there's one negative side effect to this extremely accommodating design, it would have to be that basically, especially this early in the game, there tend to be lots of corner campers, because kids, there are lots of corners in every one of these maps. Exception, it may be Convoy, and even it has its fair share. I would say it is by far the most simplest layout of the maps. Basically, in each corner of the map there's a building, and then in between them there's a section of interstate running through that's kind of broken, and you can go underneath it. And there's a few different alternate routes through that level, but basically, as I said, pretty darn straightforward once you know the layout. Unlike these other three maps, which all three definitely have their intricacies. I love Stockpile, I love Zoo, I love Hotel's probably my favorite, honestly, out of all of them. I just really like Hotel. Something about the color scheme and the fact that it's up on the 15th floor. It kind of reminds me of High Rise in that way, which is pretty cool. You don't have the really high spots to get up and do your sniping, or get up way up on top of the building and that sort of thing, which was kind of cool. I liked the fact of more accessibility in Modern Warfare 2, and I kind of wish they would have made it a little bit more that way in this game, but basically different developers are going to have slightly different philosophies, and I can live with that, because Treyarch has turned out a phenomenal game in Black Ops, in my opinion, and this map pack only solidifies my opinion of them as a developer. I think they've put together, probably in my opinion, my favorite map pack in Call of Duty ever, since I've started playing Call of Duty 2. And on that note, I have a prediction to make about map packs in the near future for Black Ops. I predict that before Modern Warfare 3 comes out, there's going to be one more map pack. And I predict it's going to continue with the map design philosophy we're seeing in this map pack, with fairly good sized maps, but extremely well balanced. But I also predict that we're going to get one map that's going to be the size of Nuketown or smaller in that map pack. So for whatever it's worth, there's my prediction, and I guess only time is going to tell on that one. I'm using classic sniper kit here. That's the PSG one with extended mags. As my perks, I'm using Ghost Pro, Scout Pro, and Hacker Pro finally. Ghost Pro and Hacker Pro is actually quite a good combination, because it makes you about as invisible as you're going to get in this game. Admittedly, you still can be seen by Blackbird, but basically someone either has to have a Blackbird up or just see you visually. Other than that, there's no way you're going to pop up on anyone's radar, unless, of course, you shoot an unsilenced weapon, which is actually why I'm not using a silencer on this sniper. I would probably consider doing that in these new maps, because in all reality, I don't know the maps that well, and I'm not sure how much people I want to draw my direction when I don't necessarily know which direction that they're coming from. But the fact that I'm using the Ghost and the Hacker tends to necessitate me using a non-silenced weapon, because otherwise, in all likelihood, my gameplay would go too slowly and I wouldn't get the 30 kills within the time allotted. So I'm just kind of baiting people over here by the sounds of these unsilenced weapons. And with my trusty eye in the sky, I am controlling the engagement, because I know exactly where they are. I know exactly which direction they're facing, which is going to make getting these last 3 kills for my dogs as easy as taking candy from a baby. But yeah, guys, this is my style of sniping, and I tend to forget sometimes that there's a lot of younger viewers out there that really never even can remember a time where there wasn't quick scopes, no scopes, 360 collateral, wall bang, all that kind of crazy stuff, ladder stalls and everything. And, this was the style of sniping for years upon years upon years when it came to sniping and shooter games. And it's only in the past few years, really, that Optic and others have come along and really popularized this run and gun style of sniper, this quick scoping style of sniper. And I certainly have no problem with that. I think it's great, in all honesty. I love to watch that style of gameplay. So I got to give a big shout out and thanks to Optic Nation. I'm talking about Optic Hex, Optic Doggy Treats, better known as Optic D Treats, Optic Predator, Optic Birdman, and every other member of Optic. Guys, you have made the Call of Duty film community a much more exciting and interesting place. And for those few of you who have not subscribed or even perhaps even heard of Optic, you really ought to crawl out from under the rock and go check out their channel. I'll post the link below. So, since this video is also a review of the map pack, I'm going to go ahead and give my opinions to you guys on all these maps. Let's start with the one I'm playing on, Zoo. You got the monorail running around the top of it, but you have to be really, really careful in negotiating that because much of it is extremely open, with some areas of cover. But I have seen people actually build up pretty sizable streaks up there, and it's definitely very viable as a sniper because, of course, you're always looking for the higher ground. As for the ground level design of this map, it's quite chaotic, with buildings, nooks, and crannies all over the place in quite haphazard fashion. And while I do like this map, in a way it was the most disappointing one to me out of the map pack because I was kind of hoping it would have animals in it, but of course I fixed that and brought some dogs in earlier. So the next map I'm going to go over in the map pack is the map Stockpile, and that map is actually based around a large central building with 2 operatable bay doors, and in addition to that it's got quite a few outbuildings scattered around the edge, but it's basically a circular map with one large building in the center, and I anticipate a lot of people are going to, especially in team games, are going to try to control this large building in the center, particularly since in Domination the B flag is there. And I really feel that the map design philosophy here is going to make for some epic defense and capture moments in objective-based game modes. The third map, Convoy, which I touched on briefly earlier, is basically an H-shaped map with a chunk of interstate going over the center of the H, and buildings on all 4 corners. Very simple layout, but still a blast to play. And, of course, I saved the best for last. The fourth and final map that I'm going to go over in this gameplay is Hotel, and as I mentioned earlier, it's my favorite. It's an extremely well-balanced map. 2 sides of a rooftop of a swanky Cuban hotel. One side is a casino, the other side is the hotel side. In addition to the rooftop, there's a penthouse level, reachable either by stairs or a pair of elevators on either side of the map. And speaking of those elevators, I've got a little homework for you guys, a little mission should you choose to accept it. And that is to find out exactly how long those elevators take to get up to the top floor. And the way I want you to find this out is by turning it on, ducking out really quickly, and throwing an uncooked grenade in there when you know there's an enemy waiting up at the top. If it takes less than 5 seconds, the enemy could potentially walk into the elevator and be killed by the grenade. I would definitely be impressed to see that kill cam, so if any of you guys can show it to me, not only will it be featured on this channel, but I will think of some extra special super cool surprise to hook you up with for giving me that clip. So in summation, I'd say the Escalation map pack is absolutely worth it as a purchase if you play even a few hours of COD a week because it's an excellent map pack. As always guys, thank you so much for viewing. Please rate, comment, and subscribe if you like what you see. Peace!